Welcome back. We continue with our news review this morning with Senator Beatrice Elachi, MP Muthomi Njuki, and Deputy Governor for Nairobi Jonathan Mweke. Now, I want to look at that rally that happened yesterday, the Jubilee rally at Tononoka grounds, where the President and his deputy received defectors, as well as when he appeared to speak directly to Governor Ali Hassan Joho of Mombasa. Let's play that. Well, if my director could help me with this, we want the story by Sam Ogina. The Jubilee Party yesterday unveiled at least 15 leaders from the coastal region who have decamped from the opposition, and as it sought to demonstrate that it was making inroads into the region that has been a bedrock of the opposition. That story.
In a show of might, Jubilee leaders stormed Mombasa's Tononoka grounds, ready to make a political statement. Traditionally perceived an opposition stronghold, Jubilee's plot was to rewrite the script, parading at least 15 defectors, among them 2 governors, 4 deputy governors, MPs and senators, Tana River Governor Hussein Dado and his deputy being Jubilee's latest entrance.
Si hata mimba mtu hufikisha ikazaliwa, nikaona nitaachwa nyuma, nikaona wacha nijiunge na serikali ambayo ishajua flag bearer ni nani.
Atimara hii ni ODM zone. Sijui hii ni ngome ya upinzani. Hii sio ngome ya upinzani, ni ngome ya watu ambao wanapenda maendeleo na yanapatikana Jubilee. Sawa sawa wananchi.
Hatuna shida na wenzetu, wakae kule wamekaa. Sisi tuwajua tayari ile asali ambayo kidogo kidogo ilikuwa upande yao imerudi Jubilee, vile mmeona hapa leo.
Sustaining an onslaught on the coastal region, the Jubilee Party is eyeing a chunk of 1.7 million votes in the 6 coastal counties. In 2013, Uhuru managed only 158,000 votes against Raila Odinga's 612,057 votes. President Kenyatta and his team hoping that they will get a better return this time round.
Wapwani wamekubali mwito wa Mheshimiwa Rais ya kwamba tuunde Kenya mpya, tubadilishe siasa ya Kenya.
They said we must use technology 100%. Wakasema Jubilee inataka kufanya rigging. Hatukujua walikuwa na njama.
President Kenyatta continuing his criticism of Mombasa Governor Hassan Ali Joho, telling him to focus on his track record rather than engage the president and other government leaders in a war of words.
Badala ya kuja kusimama ati lolote rais anakuja kufanya aidha ni fake au ni haki yao, ni haki yenu, basi wacha iwe ni haki, wacha iwe ni fake, wacha iwe ni pesa ya wazungu. Wewe kuna haja na haya mambo fake. Simama uambie wananchi yale wewe umefanya na ile pesa ambayo hukumepatiwa.
The president taking jabs at the governor's opposition to Jubilee's development projects in the region.
Kuna haja ya kuzunguka kila siku ukifikiria ati ukitukana rais au ukitukana makamu wa rais ati ndio unaoneshana ati wewe sijui sultan. Sultan wa saa ngapi?
The president fired a warning shot at the opposition, saying he was ready to engage them in the murky political games.
Yes, it's that story by Sam Ogina from Mombasa yesterday that we want to look at, and given what we expect to happen today, the reopening of the Mtongwe Ferry to be presided over by the president. And we do understand that Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, through his political advisor Idris Abdirahman, has said he will attend that relaunch of the Mtongwe Ferry, which will be presided over by the president, and Joho will be accompanied by leaders from the county and will respond to the allegations by the Jubilee team made at Tononoka grounds. Now, we've seen the president last week. He was in Turkana. We saw what happened when he appeared to have an exchange of words with the governor, Nanok. And the president got really angry, and his choice of words was a bit different, if I may say that. Now, we see another possibility of another bout with Ali Hassan Joho, given their history. Of course, you know what happens. Same forum. Last year, President was in Mombasa opening some projects. Governor Joho was there. Not a very pleasant scene when the President and the Governor actually on the same platform do not see eye to eye. Now, is the president right in engaging these leaders who are way below him in this kind of fights? Because this is a governor, county governor, you are the national president. Why is he right in engaging at that level, Bwana Mweke?
Not even that level. I think, again, as a president, yes, there's an argument that he's also a politician. He's the head of a coalition or a party, and so he can be able to behave like anybody else. I beg to differ. As a president, you're at the top. You're supposed to be completely different than anybody else. You're a unifying figure. You're the father of the nation. You should have the shock absorbers to withstand any abuse. So because you've been abused as a president, if I was president, I'd not even respond back, because that creates other ripples down here that you might not be able to control. Because of course you have your supporters, the person you're abusing are the supporters, they'll start clashing here because of the two of you. I'd just like to give an example of the maturity we see when former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and the president meet. They don't insult each other. They've shared a platform several times. They hug, they laugh, because they both know the kind of power they hold over the people in this country. When the president meets with Kalonzo, last time they met in Machakos, yes, Kalonzo was very firm and told the president that this is my turf, and the leaders you think you've taken from Ukambani have gone by themselves. I steal whatever Ukambani, but very respectfully, very diplomatically, and for me that's leadership. What I think is going to happen today, where the governor of Mombasa says he's going to go and respond, I just hope he's not going for a confrontation, because it would be a very sad thing for Kenyans if two heads of government sit down and tear each other apart at a public forum on national TV. What that will say to the people below us who are neighbors is that the leaders are fighting, they're uncouth, they've removed their gloves, so can we.
Yet,
and
given
then
the history of Mombasa between Governor Joho and President Uhuru Kenyatta, it's not once or twice. It's happened every time they share a platform. The president and the governor start exchanging words. That Governor Joho will rise up and speak. Of course, the president speaks last, and he comes and starts responding to Governor Joho. Should he, the president, I'm speaking about the president, has he opened himself to this? That yes, by going to Turkana and appearing to respond to the governor there, that he's opened himself to this kind of fights at the county level. That yes, governors feel that they can actually challenge the president directly on the same forum, on the same platform. Senator.
Well, it's very unfortunate that the governors felt because we gave them a constitution that says they are in a government, they decided to become 47 presidents. And so when they look at Uhuru, the president now of the Republic of Kenya, who got 6 million votes, while you get 100,000 votes here, which a member of parliament has also gotten, and we respect you, we call you governor, you realize that you thought because you are given resources to implement services to Kenyans, you are at the same level with the presidency. I think that's one thing we need to work on as Kenyans, that the president and Kenya is one country. We have 47 governors who, because of what we wanted as devolution, we thought we will get CEOs who will come and give services, not use politics to think because I'm a politician, the way Governor Rasanga normally speaks, that even behind I cannot put the photo of the president. I think that's where we went wrong, and that's why the governors have some power. They think when I'm on the platform with the president, I'm the president here. So this president has to respect me as the president of this ground. I think that's where we are going wrong. And so when the president comes out, and when you remember the incidents in Turkana, we are talking of now resources. Now when you come and tell the president, really, that the oil that you see here is our oil, fine, it's your oil. It has been there for 54 years. It is the Britons who have now come who are trying to ensure your people are served. But at the same time, the president asks himself, I give Turkana 11 billion. For the last 4 years, you have received more than 50 billion. but I come back, I cannot even see my 50 billion, what it has done. And you stand on a podium, now the day of, because you're looking for votes, and start engaging in a very wrong way. And then when the president say, na shetani ashindwe, you change the narrative and you say the president has now called me shetani. The president never called the governor of Turkana shetani. The president said, shetani ashindwe. And I think he has, not him alone, even as politicians, when we see something, we say, na tuseme shetani ashindwe. So now because of the media, the way you change things, and now you say, oh, Nonok was called shetani. The president is not as we think. One of the things I believe with my president is that, one, he respects. When you see now he has reached at that level, it's fine. I have respected. I have said for 4 years, respected everything they say, abuse me the way you want, I'm the symbol of unity. But Kenyans are even wondering, how can our president just be abused? When our president is not firm?
But should it be for the president
let me go to Mombasa now. Let me go to Mombasa. And I want to respect Joho today. My dear brother, you have 2 degrees now, meaning you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom. That when the people of Mombasa see you with your 2 degrees, it must translate in wisdom. Wisdom of number 1. Today, what I looked on that clip, the president has not abused Joho. He has not done it in anger. All the president has said, fine, I have brought my development. You have told the people of Mombasa they are fake, they are not worth, they are muzungus, which indeed, in the end of the day, the President of the Republic of Kenya has to ensure the World Bank has been paid back its money. It will not be the responsibility of the governor of Mombasa. So that's where wisdom of knowledge and education comes in, as you speak also, even as a governor. But then the most important thing, then he has said, fine, just come and tell the people of Mombasa, what have you done for 4 years? Simple. So
should the governor go today and actually respond to
and
the
for
president?
me, if the governor was smart, and that's why I'm repeating, with 2 degrees, which I can be doing even masters now.
Should Joho go to Mtongwe?
He has to go to Mtongwe.
Yes and no.
No, he has to go.
Yes and no. Yes, if he's going as the governor of Mombasa, with a lot of respect and humility that the president is visiting his county, and he's going to launch a project that is in his county for the people. But if he's going as a candidate for governor of Mombasa, as an aspirant, to try and have a combat of maneuverability that is going to hit the Jubilee candidate, and especially the president, then he's on the wrong path. Because forgive me for saying this, but I think Joe is just has some bad manners that he needs to contain. Because in the first place, there's not one time that Joe, at this particular time, has any direct competition with the president as far as the political seats are concerned. He's not a presidential candidate of the Republic of Kenya. Neither is Uhuru Kenyatta a candidate of the governor of Mombasa. The person that Joe should be hitting at are people like Hassan Omar, who are competing against him, but the Jubilee candidates.
Could we say the same for the president, that he therefore should not even be addressing the governor of Mombasa?
I want to come to that. As for the Governor Joe's bad manners of hitting out at Uhuru about his development records, you know, we had a situation in the past where the former president of Kenya, the one who just left, Mwai Kibaki, kept quiet. You know, he was just silent when things were just happening. And at one point, Kenyans were like, what is happening to our president? And then the people from Kenya who coined the word General Kigwea, you know, though it was said in not most of his hands in public. And you don't want to go back to that point where people felt that if the president was not so silent, we would not have had this violence that took place. So we need the president to come out, even if you are a small person who is trying to cause unpleasantness in the whole of this scenario of the politics, then it should be addressed. However, it depends on how he addresses it. When I look at what the president has said today, really, there is no direct confrontation there. He is just putting it right for the people that this man is losing you on his track, so that you don't ask him about the money he was given, by the national government to use for his people. That is very critical. On the other hand, I like what Senator Lachia said about the crop of governors we have today. And I always like referring to it as the big man syndrome. That we have this very big governor who does not realize that the governor is normally under the elected president of Kenya. Because at the end of the day, who is the governor answerable to? Not to the people. You know, in terms of bureaucracy, the governor bureaucratically is supposed to answer to the president, not to his political party head, because the NASA governors think that they answer to Raila Odinga or Kalonzo Musyoka. That should not really be the case.
In terms of seniority, yes, the president is the national leader, but
yes.
Do governors answer directly to the president? I don't
they
think
should.
No. Is that how it works?
No.
Yeah, that's where now you go wrong.
Yes.
No, they don't. And
because we need to clarify.
It's not answerable.
No, they don't.
If he's not their symbol, why do you go for summit? Why do we have a summit where the president chairs? Why?
We have a deputy governor, yes, we understand
that narrative of changing our constitution to read it in their way because they read it in their way.
Is there anywhere where it says the governor answers directly to the president? That they take orders from the president?
No, it's not.
No, we didn't say orders.
We say bureaucratically. That is
when you say answer to the president, it's something that's how it could be taken.
Maybe
just that clarity.
That's how media takes it now.
Maybe I can respond.
Media is the one that is killing our country.
Let's allow the deputy governor to respond to that.
You know, it worries me when my friends in Jubilee start doubting a constitution that Kenyans chose 7 years ago, voted overwhelmingly. Devolution, Senator, is what Kenyans wanted. It was God's gift to Kenyans. You can't sit here now because you are the ruling coalition and want to wish it away. This is what Kenyans decided. And as soon as you guys in Jubilee begin to realize it's not about you, it's about the people. Article 1 of the Constitution, you're holding power on behalf of the people. Please, let us respect the decisions of our people.
So in terms of answering,
the Constitution says very clearly that you shall have 2 levels of government, the national government and the county governments. Both governments shall be independent, meaning that nobody answers to each other, but shall collaborate, meaning that's why you need a
so they work together.
I want you to use the word in the Constitution. It's not collaborate. Use it properly. You have
which word is it? What word is it?
Interrelate.
Well, that is not in the Constitution. That is in the Intergovernmental Act. All right, so that's not in the Constitution. Interrelate,
but
something
the understanding is
they
do not answer. Governors do not answer directly to the president.
No, they do not.
But they collaborate.
But remember, it's 48 governments, 47 county governments, 1 national government, 1 Kenya. So these guys must work together. So if you ask the Council of Governors, they'll tell you these summit meetings, 95% of what's agreed in the summit meeting is not implemented. That's where the friction begins to come. That's where the governors begin to think that, you know what, the national government is not supporting the county government. For us here in Nairobi, we are being pointed at fingers every day, being told, you've not worked, you've not worked, you've not worked. Listen, the national government owes Nairobi 69 billion shillings. They've not paid parking, they've not paid rates. Then Kaiseri comes and says, won't pay, can't pay, you're just a small government. That's where the friction begins to come. Where we are trying to do our work as elected by Kenyans, but the national government decides to kill it. And I think that's the also issue now they're hearing between Joho
and in such a situation, because Bwana Muthoni Njuki hadn't finished his point, in such a situation, is it necessary to have both the governor and the president at the same event? I know it is something in Mombasa. They are launching, they are reopening the Mtongwe Ferry. The president is going there. We know if Governor Hassan Joho goes, it will become something else. Is it necessary? Do they have to be at the same place at the same time?
You know, both the president and the governor, they are there because they serve the people. Incidentally, they serve the same people. I want to see my president, I want to see my governor, but I don't want to see them fighting. And that is why we erred in amendment of the Constitution when we decided that we will not have a period for campaigning where we dissolve all these offices. You know, so that people can be given opportunity now as presidents and as governors. Because there you play the game as a candidate. Now here is a situation whereby we are carrying both flags, you know. You are a candidate, you are a president, you are a candidate, you are a governor. They really need to use the wisdom to make sure that they don't bring conflict that can really bring a bad scene and bring, you know, bad feeling to the people. Yes.
But just before the senator goes, I'll give you guys an example at a lower level, but really should be mirrored at the national level. Here in Nairobi, right? Dr. Kidero and myself are the leaders in Nairobi, and we have MPs. 8 of them are CORD, 9 of them are Jubilee. Have you seen one Jubilee MP, when we are in their constituency, stand up to abuse the governor?
No.
Or vice versa? No, because we respect them. We go to Kasarani, Joroge is the MP, we go to a road or a bridge or a market in his constituency, we call him, we work together, we don't abuse him or anything, and in turn, he respects us. Yesterday, I was at Redeemed Church in Kayole. The MCA, Bwana is a Jubilee MCA. Yeah, he tried to leave Mombasa to come and accompany me to his church because of the respect we have. It's just that his flight got cancelled because the president was there and there was too many people, so the flights got cancelled, so he couldn't make it. But that's the kind of relationship you need to have as leaders. Not go to somebody's staff and begin to talk to him badly amongst his people where he was elected. Of course there'll be a reaction. And so the president should use the example that Dr. Kidero and I have used here in Nairobi, where we know half the leaders are Jubilee, and when we go to those Jubilee areas, we respect them. They respect us back.
Yes. So finally, Senator, on this issue of the president and the governors, we now, because it's a trend we are seeing, and the president appears to have changed tact and become, and taken off the gloves, and he's now going full throttle. He's getting emotional, getting angry, getting direct, talking directly to governors, talking directly to anyone who opposes him, including the doctors. Is it a strategy in his re-election campaign? Is it a strategy for the president, or is it just happening by default?
No, I think one, I wanted to go back on the issue of the constitution, and I want to say, as Jubilee is a party. I'm a Kenyan, a resident of Nairobi. I respect the constitution as it is. I used the same constitution to elect my governor and my deputy governor. All we are saying, even as Kenyans in Nairobi, that while we respect you in doing all this, in the end of the day, you are accountable to us. In the end of the day, the woman in Kilimani who is crying that there is a club that puts noise will always cry that they have not done this to me. In the end of the day, when I see garbage littering all over, I will feel disappointed that they have not given me that service. And that's all what Kenyans are saying. That we got devolution not to have people to use it to say now and hit your chest and say, because I'm the governor, I will do this. All they are saying, with the resources that we are paying taxes, can we see translation of our resources to a betterment of our lives? I think that's all Kenyans are saying. For the president, I think for him, he has been and he's still our symbol. And as a father, you reach a point, and I want to tell Kenyans, we have reached a point, even as Kenyans, we have lost what was ours. Why? We have decided to change ourselves, and the way we anger ourselves, all of us, do things on Facebook, when you read our social media, you will realize it's a country where we have reached a point we need to ask this dysfunctional. We have taken from the Western beyond the Western. Now we have come even...
Is that the same anger that's now boiling over and getting to the presidency?
The president is not boiling. You know, and that's why I'm saying, media, don't create something that is not.
Is it a strategy? Is it that
it's not a strategy. I think he's just him. He has realized Kenyans will want a person to be him. As much as I will try and become what I am not supposed to become, I have to become who I am as Kenyans know me. And so it is not anger, it's not emotional. I agree with Governor, yes, you have to go. I think he has done that for 4 years. He has realized, really, as much as I will wait, I'm abused to anything that is there. And I keep quiet. Kenyans are also wondering, did we elect a president who will just be abused and not stop Kenyans? Because Kenyans only stop when you become tough. When
So
you bring in tough laws,
it is reactionary. It's not a strategic
and it's not
method
reactionary.
yeah.
It's just that the president is him.
Okay. Final words, Bwana Munomi Njuki. We need to wrap up our news review. Incidentally, we also do understand Labour Party of Kenya decided over the weekend now they're supporting Uhuru Kenyatta. There's a lot of backlash towards Ababu Namwamba, the Ababu Namwamba-led Labour Party. Because up until the weekend they had not decided whether they'll go the opposition or Jubilee. They've decided to go with Jubilee. That's just one of the headlines. But final words,
anything that can be able to make the defections less frictionless. If there's a word like that in English, it will be better for us. I want to dispel a notion that governors have, that the national resources that are in their counties belong to the counties. Masai Mara National Reserve or National Park does not belong to Narok County. They can benefit from it, but it belongs to the people of Kenya. The oil in Turkana does not belong to the Turkana people as an asset that they can actually be able even to sell to the national government. Anything within the boundaries of Kenya that is a natural resource belongs to the government of Kenya. And therefore, when Uhuru Kenyatta, President Uhuru Kenyatta goes to Turkana and he's told you've come for our oil, first and foremost, that is misguided. It is, I think the governor was just lost. That he should actually come to realization and he should be able to read the constitution. That yes, that resource should be able to benefit the people of Turkana, but it belongs to the people of Kenya. And the president of Kenya was a symbol for the whole of the nation. And for him to convince the people of Turkana, these people, you know, that is incitement.
Let's clarify that Governor Nanok actually was looking for a bigger share. Just saying that whatever goes back to the county should not be this much, it should be slightly more.
You know,
he did not say that
but the word, our oil,
should not go.
Our oil, you just want our oil. You know, perception, it was not right.
Maybe in terms of perception.
Yes, that is not right. And therefore, let us remember that, of course, the country is going to be there after these elections. And let us try to make sure that we have a seamless government. That notion of the county government being independent, not being answerable to anybody, it's a wrong notion. Let us have a seamless government where wherever you are elected, work towards working with other leaders and especially the presidency, so that we can have one solid united nation.
Okay. Senator, final words?
I'll just want to tell Kenyans as we move, and I think one of the things going forward, we need to look at our constitution is that in an election timelines, I think we need to dissolve and go do politics. And now we need to go back, and Kenyans must look at it, because it is we are now using, as much as they'll say, for example, you have the president going and because of this rally you close this rally, and you are using maybe the national government, the police. The same with the governors. You have your county ward representatives. They are being paid salaries of government on our taxpayers. You are using them to do the same thing. So there's a lot of things that we did in our constitution that we need to look at. We also need to look at back, and I'm hoping we will go for a referendum on this constitution to really amend a few things, to realign so that Kenya remains one state. Because if we go and continue, fine, after Uhuru, we have another president who comes in, isn't it, after 10 years, and something happens. Definitely, every state will want to now decide, I will stay like this. And this is something we need to say. Kenya is still a country where we are developing, and as much as we have all these resources, we can also kill these resources ourselves. Reasons are, we will decide, fine, you, this is what you are fighting for, have it, just the way we are doing in Laikipia. And I want to tell the people of Laikipia, fine, right now we are analyzing, we are talking about land, we are saying, land, our friends of Britain can leave this land. That land, if you joke, can just be there for you, just the way it is in Zimbabwe, not helping anyone. You look at it, and there's nothing. So we must remember, we need each other for these things to work. I know there was a program in Laikipia that you conserve what you have, so that when dryness comes, people used to enter and pasture. But now we have changed. Instead of doing the pasture way, because ask yourself, Do you want to tell me this is the first time you're having drought in Laikipia? For many years we've had, and they've had their animals go graze and go back. But because people are now taking advantage, you come, you take, and you take it completely. We are now even having conflict with those wild animals and all that. So I want to plead with the people of Laikipia. The way you used to run your ranches together, that you'll agree when there's drought, pastoralists can come in, graze, and leave after. I think that policy has to continue. Instead of what we are seeing and having a lot of conflict now with our good friends of the UK, good friends of the US. I mean, we are having a lot of diplomacy conflict that we need to really manage.
Finally, Deputy Governor, and as you respond, as you give your final comments, Kalonzo has said the opinion polls that say he's second to Raila when it comes to NASA as a flag bearer, they are wrong. Do you agree with him? Of course you agree with him, but do you also dismiss the polls the same way as you give your final words?
I believe in polls because they are scientific. I'm a science guy. I believe in science. I believe in logic. What I don't believe in is manipulated polls.
And you believe those were manipulated?
Well, I've not really looked at these polls. I don't understand what they really mean yet, because I've not looked at them deeply. You know, there's usually the headline on the polls, and then there's the research that's done below, because polls is really research. So until you read the full report, you really can't deduce. But you know, there's been talk of some pollsters being influenced by this coalition, some pollsters being influenced by this other coalition, and I think that's what's making the polls look discredible. But if they're done credibly, if they're based on science and proper research, I believe in polls. Here in Nairobi, I can tell you, the governor and myself even do self-polls, because we want to know what are the issues, what are the people saying, what are areas that we are doing well, which are the areas we need to do better, and you need to do this kind of research through conducting polls and asking the people, so that you really are able to know the direction. So until I find out about what those polls really meant, I wouldn't be able to comment.
A very safe answer there.
But
final words.
Yes. You know, political tolerance. As we're getting into this season of politics, and yes, we are already in the electioneering period, let's have political tolerance. Let all of us leaders be able to do our part in telling our people and showing them really in word and in deed that August 8th, after you cast your vote, you're going to come up and meet your same neighbor, the same guy who had a different view. Let's respect other people's views. Today I'm speaking at Strathmore University. I've been speaking at universities just to instill leadership qualities, so that our young people, as they come up, they are able to have values like passion, like problem solving, like communication, like competence as leaders. And the topic actually I'm going to be talking about to students today is just political tolerance, which borders on respect and looking at the bigger picture, so that we don't think, like the senator was saying, that you have to be able to fight and abuse other people to be the bigger person. And indeed, the senator is right. We are seeing that on social media. Everybody is just abusing everyone. And I think we need to stop that as a country. Last but not least is Laikipia situation. If this is not checked, it's going to send a message that anybody can go into somebody's private property and take it over, which will be a disaster. We'll end up becoming a lawless state. On this, honestly, I squarely blame the governments, both of them, the county government and the national government. Where has the governor of Laikipia been? If you look at the Standard today, this thing has been going on for 6 months. Why do you have to wait for a problem for 6 months? Now, the governor can say probably that it's a security issue and the security people must have taken care of. But it's his county. He really should have come up week 1 and said there's 10 herders that have invaded a ranch. I, as the county, don't have the machinery. National government in Kaiseri, president, please come and help. But now 6 months, you have thousands of herders, tens of thousands of cattle. It could have been avoided. But let's find a solution to it.
Thank you so much, Deputy Governor Jonathan Mweke, Deputy Governor Nairobi, Senator Beatrice Elachi, Senate Majority Whip, also an aspirant for the Dagoretti North Parliamentary seat, and MP Mudhomi Njuki from Chuka Mang'ombe, also aspiring to be the next governor for Tharaka Nithi County. Helping us look at the headlines this morning, Power Breakfast still continues. Remember, that's the hashtag to use. In as far as headlines go, there's also a very interesting headline on page 6 of the Daily Nation. We won't get to talk about it. NASA flag bearer primaries talks collapse. A team tasked by the National Super Alliance to work out a formula of nominating a presidential candidate and sharing power has failed to reach an agreement. It has emerged. You can read that story on page 6 of the Daily Nation. We do have some more interviews and music on the show. So from me, Freddie Ndimuli, it's good morning.